Let's switch this up.
So let me tell you about the time my brother's girlfriend tried to completely ruin my life. At the time, I was 16 and my brother was 18. He had just started dating this girl named Megan, and to be honest, from day one I didn't like her. She was one of those girls who smiled to your face but gave you dirty looks the second you turned around. I tried to tell my brother she wasn't good for him, but he was obsessed. He thought she was perfect, and he didn't want to hear anything bad about her. So I kept my mouth shut. Big mistake. Every time she came over, she acted fake nice to me. Like, "Oh my gosh, your outfit is so cute." But then later I'd hear her telling my brother, "Why does your sister dress like that?" Or if I said something funny, she'd roll her eyes when he wasn't looking. The biggest red flag? She started asking me weird questions about my friends. Like, who I liked, who I texted, and if I ever lied to my parents. At the time, I didn't think much of it, but she was collecting information. One weekend, my parents went out of town and my brother had Megan over. We were all hanging out in the living room and I left my phone on the couch when I went to get snacks. When I came back, my phone was in Megan's hand. She tried to act like she was just looking at the time, but I knew she was snooping. Later that night, I noticed some of my texts had been deleted, and not just random ones, the ones with my crush, where I was saying things I wouldn't want my brother to know. That's when I knew she was up to something. The next day at school, all of a sudden, people started asking me about my crush. Stuff I never told anyone but Kayla and Megan. Then my phone buzzed with a notification, a screenshot of my text posted on someone's story. My stomach dropped. Guess who sent them around? Megan. She literally took my private messages and shared them with half the school. Everyone was laughing, calling me desperate, making fun of me. When I confronted her, she just smirked and said, "Maybe don't leave your phone lying around." The audacity. I told my brother what she did, and at first he didn't believe me. He said, "Megan would never." So I pulled up the proof, screenshots of her sending my texts into a group chat. He was silent. 2 days later, he broke up with her, but the damage was done. My reputation at school was wrecked for weeks. People finally moved on, but I'll never forget this. Okay, story time about the time my best friend turned into my biggest enemy over a school play. So I was 15, and our school was doing a play for the spring showcase. I auditioned for the lead role and actually got it. I was so excited. My best friend Lily got a smaller part, and I thought she was happy for me. Spoiler, she wasn't. At first, she pretended to be supportive. She helped me practice lines, even gave me pep talks. But slowly, I started noticing little digs, like she'd say, "Don't get too nervous up there," or, "If you mess up, it'll be so embarrassing." Then one day, she told me straight up, "You only got the role because the teacher likes you." I laughed it off, but deep down, it hurt, and it planted a seed of doubt. 2 weeks before the performance, we had rehearsal. I went to grab my script from my locker, and guess what? It was gone. Hours of my notes, my highlighted lines, everything, just missing. I searched everywhere. Later, I saw Lily with a script in her bag that looked way too familiar. When I asked her about it, she snapped, "You're not the only one with a script. Stop being paranoid." But I knew. She was up to something. Opening night came. I was backstage getting ready, and suddenly someone handed me my script. It had been found crumpled in the bathroom trash can, with my name scratched out on the cover. I walked out on stage anyway, shaking but determined. And guess what? Halfway through the play, Lily suddenly forgot her lines. She looked right at me, smirking, waiting for me to fail. But instead, I carried the scene. The crowd clapped, and she looked furious. Afterward, I confronted her. She admitted it. She tried to sabotage me because she thought she deserved the lead role. I couldn't believe it. My best friend turned enemy over a play. We stopped being friends that night, and honestly, losing the role would have been bad, but losing trust in your best friend, that's worse.
Okay, so story time. I know my mom's secret habit sounds so extra, but trust me, what happened was wild, and it wasn't even my mom's fault. Exactly. Let me paint the picture. I was 14, halfway through freshman year, dealing with regular teen chaos tests, friends, anxiety over acne. My mom, single mom energy, was working 2 jobs, always tired, but she was my rock. Or at least that's how she seemed. We live streamed TikToks in her closet. She made my fave pancakes. She was all that until one day everything cracked. So here's where things got weird. My mom started forgetting simple stuff: my lunch, my dog's walk, the homework I left on the kitchen counter. She'd apologize, but it didn't feel right. Then she started sleeping crazy late on weekends, would vanish without telling me, spending the whole day resting. She'd say she was exhausted, but her texts would glow back late at night. I was like, girl, I just walked in at midnight. You awake? She always brushed it off. One time, I found empty pill bottles in her purse. I thought maybe painkillers, but the prescription didn't match anything she'd had surgery for in years. I started low-key panicking. I had no idea. I love my mom, but that feeling in my stomach as if I caught her in something she shouldn't be doing was real. One afternoon, I came home early from school because of a migraine. I opened the door and I found her passed out on the couch. Her phone still lit up with a call from Dr. M. Right after that, notifications were buzzing. A rideshare app, pharmacy delivery, a refill confirmation. I stared at her, shaking, wondering what I was supposed to do. I looked closer and realized that pill bottle from her purse, it matched the one on our coffee table. I grabbed it. The label said benzo, something about anxiety, something I didn't understand at the time. My heart crashed. My mom's hiding stuff? Again, she looked like she was asleep, but the rideshare pinged again this time. It was a refund request. She canceled something. Was she hiding how many times she was getting meds? Was she? I couldn't think. I started connecting dots, the forgotten stuff, the disappearing, the texts at 3 a.m. It was not pill bottles for pain. It was prescription anxiety meds. And now, something's gone sideways. I felt betrayed, but more than anything, I felt terrified. Okay, so I knelt beside her, voice shaking, smartphone in hand. Mom, what's going on? She woke up, confused, like I woke her from a dream. I held the pill bottle up. This isn't for your knee, is it? My voice cracked. She blinked, then the tears came. She said, it started after I lost my shift last year and almost lost the house. Her voice was so small. She said she'd been going to therapy but ran out of coverage. That was when panic spirals hit. She found a doctor who gave her a prescription, but she didn't tell me or my dad. She didn't want me to worry. She said she'd stop eventually, but I saw the emptiness in her eyes, the guilt, the shame. I put my hand on her. Mom, you can't hide from me. Not like that. It was heavy me saying that to her. She cried. I cried. That room felt like it broke and stitched back the same second. We sat there for what felt like forever. But really, it was just 20 minutes before I grabbed tissues and watched her shrink in regret. That night, I downloaded a mental health hotline, looked into adolescent therapy options, and found a support group for teens with family dealing with addiction. Yeah, addiction. Even prescription meds can be that. I didn't want to fling addict at her, but I needed help. The next day, I had the hardest convo ever with my dad. He flew in, upset that neither of us said anything. But within days, we had her a new doctor, proper treatment, and I was a little more on guard, checking in daily, not creeping, just caring. Our relationship shifted, but in a good way. I learned moms are human. Cancer strong on Instagram doesn't equal immune to trauma. And mom learned that hiding makes storms bigger. Fast forward 6 months, she's stable. Therapy is helping, and I'm not okay all the time, but okayer. I still do pancakes in the closet, but now we talk about messy things, money, meds, feelings, and it's good, not awkward. She'll sometimes joke, thanks for turning detective. I laugh. It's not what saved us, but it was honest. So yeah, that's the story of the time my mom's hidden anxiety habit nearly broke me, but in the end, it made us both a lot stronger. And if you ever feel like you're the only one noticing the cracks, keep speaking. Sometimes you're the glue, and that's okay.